Hi everyone, welcome back to Stampin' Gala. I have my second card for my marker club for this month. We use the We Must Celebrate stamp set. But before we get started, I want to show you a little trick I did with this stamp right here. As you can see, I used the whole stamp to stamp this image. However, on my Facebook Friday, you can see that I used the same stamp right here. What I did was actually cut it apart. So you can always just place it right back together and the stamp works fine. To cut a stamp apart, what I did is I bent it like this, and that allowed me to get the scissors right in there. You have to be really careful not to damage it, but you can do it and it works out perfectly. So you might want to give that a try so that you have other ways that you can use your stamp. All right, so we're going to get started. First of all, we're going to grab a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and this is cut at 2 5/8 by 4 1/8. Again, we're using the Memento ink. Want to ink this up. When I use a bigger stamp, I actually put the stamp on its back. So I make sure that I get the whole image inked. And if you notice, I'm kind of swirling this from back and forth. And then what I do is always just tap over top of it. That way, I make sure that I get the entire image inked. All right, so we're going to bring this down a little bit, and I'm going to stamp. And I just hold it here for a second to make sure that I have a good image. There you go. I think it turned out perfectly. All right, so we're going to jump right in with the coloring. And I think we'll start with the bunny. And I'm using the light smoky slate for this. Just be real careful around the ears so that you don't have a mess on your hands. I just put a little bit of gray in here. I don't try to go back and shade it all at all because it's just really a small area. So we're going to color the face. And now I'm going to go back before I finish the image and add some shading. And I'm just going to round the face, kind of leaving the inside a little bit lighter right around the eyes. Okay? Now same thing, we're going to move down the body. You want to work in smaller areas when you're doing some shading. Okay, I'm going to shade this area. And if you notice, I'm using the same marker. I'm just adding another layer. What I'm going to do is add a little bit of pink to his belly, his ears, and his tail. And then I'm going to do something else that I think looks really cute. I added pink on the nose, but I'm going to add pink on the cheeks. And it shows up just enough. And also, I'm going to add some pink down here, just for color. Okay, so the bunny's done. We're going to move on to the bear. And, oops, I have the wrong side for coloring. We're going to do the same thing that we just did. Work with the face. And then we'll go back and shade it a little bit. Okay. Just around the bottom and around the top. Okay. Now we're going to move down. Okay, and then add some shading again. All right. I'm going to bring back the pink again. I'm just going to add a little pink on his belly and around here, and also on his cheeks. All right, moving on. We're going to take the gray and we're going to add some color here to this raccoon. When I started making this card, I really wasn't sure where I was going with it, and I really like how it turned out. I think it turned out really nicely. Celebration is still going on this month, so if you want to receive some free stamps or products, for every $50 order you get some free products. And we also have some new ones this month. I love the new basket in the embossing folder. Okay, now we're moving on to the squirrel, and we're using the crumb cake this time. Okay, this is a smaller image, so I'm just going to do the whole thing, and then I can come back and shade it. Okay. We're going to come back with the pink again. Not much to the squirrel. Okay, so there, oh, I got to do the bottom part. I want to show you what I did there. What I did was I just kind of took the gray, and I just kind of added some color down here, and as you can see, it's darker than it's showing on my sample. I'll bring the sample in a second and show you. Okay, see the difference? So how I changed that is I took our color lifter and I just blended it. Just kind of in a circular motion, and you'll see the difference in just a second. It really does work. Okay, I'll go back again. It's just picking up some of the ink and it's lightening it. There you have it. So it looks like the ground. And as it dries, it'll lighten up a little bit. All right, so now we're going to bring the rest of our card in. All right, and we're going to layer this image on the crumb cake. And I'll tell you what the crumb cake size is just a second. 4 1/4 by 2 3/4. Okay, so there's that. All right, and then we're going to take one of the Whisper Whites that are cut at 3 3/4 by 5. We're going to stamp Happy Birthday on there. And Happy Birthday, I'm using this Happy Birthday right in this set. We're going to put it right down here in the lower corner. We only have one shot at this, so I hope it turns out right. I'm going to stand up. Always make sure that you have your stamp set or your image going in the right direction. You'd hate to have it upside down. Pretty good. Okay, So let's bring in a piece of powder pink, and this is 5 1/4 by 4. We're going to layer these two together. Got something on there. All right, and this is from our Tutti Frutti DSP pack. I love that paper, and I never thought I would. This is 5 by 3. I love almost every single piece in that pack. So we're going to layer this right here. I'm leaving a little bit on top, just enough to give it a little border. All right, and then we're going to take our twine again. All right, and this time what I did is I put a little bit of snail here on the back just to hold it. And what I did was I took the twine, and by the way, you ladies are getting a full pack of twine this month. Okay, and I'm just going to push that down and cut it off. All right. We'll bring in our card base. Our card base is cut at 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. I scored it at 4 1/4. I love using the scores. I don't ever fold my cards without scoring it. Okay, we're going to layer this on here. It just gives it a nice finished look. Okay, so now we're going to take our image here, put some dimensionals on the back. And this time I offset it. I like the look to offset it. Usually all my cards are just lined up perfectly, but I wanted to change this time. So we're going to go about right there. Okay. Also, we're going to add some Wink Stella. I'm just going to randomly put this on. Don't have to be real careful. Just gives it a nice little shimmer. Okay, so there's that. Now I'm gonna do, if you notice on here, I did a double bow. So I'm just gonna fold this over like this, double it over, make a couple of bunny ears, and tie it in a knot. I always hold the knot to adjust and trim off the ends, and there's your double bow. Okay, put that on with a glue dot. Sometimes you can control it better like that. Okay, so there's the front of the card. Now, let me show you again what the inside looks like. All I did was stamp "We Must Celebrate" with a little acorn. So, let's bring in another piece of Whisper White. And that is same as the front, and that's cut at 5 by 3 3/4. Okay, again, make sure you have your image right side up when you're stamping. There you go. And then the acorn, you got to be careful with because it's so little and it's easy to overstamp it. There you go. And to color that, I'm just using the crumb cake, the light crumb cake, and then I'm going to do the top of the acorn with the dark crumb cake. Just kind of dotting these so I don't go outside the lines. All right. I'm going to bring back the card in a second, and I'm going to show you how nicely that lightened up where I used the color lifter. Okay, so there's the card. See right there how it lightened up? I'll bring back in the other card, and there you have it. Thank you so much for watching. Please visit me on my blog at stampinggala.com, and also, if you'd like, on Friday at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, you can check out my Facebook Live. I'd love to have you join me, and thank you, and make it a great day. Bye-bye.